It's a good song. Yeah, it's a good song. They're in studio, so they'll have a few new songs shortly for us.
Yenny is sulking because I didn't let her sit on the desk.
She'll suck it up. She's gonna be fine. I don't have the Yenny cam ready.
That's okay.
Yeah, I do. I don't know what happened.
Let me know when Wim comes up.
Oh shit! I was too busy getting the Yenny cam. Sure. All right, we're going live right now.
Okay.
Should be just a few seconds.
Good.
Alrighty, going to give it 5, 4, 3, 2, and Webkin people, welcome to the Donut Friendly Show. Hope you had a good weekend. We had a busy weekend. We had a really fun weekend. It was a good time. We entertained Amy. We took her to a AA meeting just to make sure she could disclose her actions on Friday. Probably, I went back and watched it. That segment was probably the most watched last 15 minutes of a show we have ever had in Donut Unfriend Me history. I mean, if you were worried, if they're like, oh God, I don't know if people are actually going to watch this, you should, because so they did. Oh yeah, they did. They watched it for sure. If you have not seen it, don't worry. We're gonna make we're gonna make shirts.
Oh, what are they gonna? I have not. I need to rewatch it because I don't remember like any of it.
Yeah,
I remember sitting down and I told Jason like, why the hell did she let me go on? Like I was like 2 glasses of wine in. Like I was no.
You are a complete lightweight if you got that drunk off of 2 glasses of wine.
Yeah, like I question the amount of. Oh, I guess I should play this. Sorry. Well, we got stuff to do. We'll talk about this in a second. Welcome to the Donut Friendly Show. It is election eve. We got a busy night tonight because we're going to tell you all that we're doing. Today was a long day. I have been working nonstop on, I didn't do news. I didn't do a show. I didn't have an AM show. Nothing. It was all building the cells and building the sheets for the election. And I probably got another 10 hours of work to do. I'll be up tomorrow really early, hitting it. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a hell of a show. We're going to have a great time tomorrow. It'll be fun. Win, lose, or draw. Preferably lose Kamala Harris and win Donald Trump, and we'll be happy. That would be nice. We're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to kind of ease your troubled soul. I've been doing this a long time, and I don't know how you feel, but the one thing I've heard from everybody is that we're anxious, we're nervous, we don't know what to, and I'm just kind of like, I'm good. Like, I feel good. And if I feel good, you should feel good. Because if I had a reason not to feel good, trust me, I wouldn't. So we'll talk about that. Amy, how are you feeling tonight?
I've completely recovered. I did have a rough Saturday.
Yeah.
Did you tie one on?
Oh,
I got so drunk. We went out for dinner, and they have this wine at the restaurant we went to that we love. So I drank half the bottle, and Jason he said he was going to drink, and then he ended up not drinking it.
Two glasses. She said.
Glasses.
She lied.
No, you can ask Jason.
You just said half the bottle. We all heard you say half the bottle.
Yeah,
half the bottle is
kind of normal. Out of
There's not 4 glasses per bottle. What the hell type of wine are you? What type of glass? What are you doing? This much?
It's a full cup, but I don't know how much is in a bottle of wine, but 4 glasses of wine is in 1 bottle, right? I don't know.
I get 3
many glasses of wine
half a bottle
in a hold on.
Which was 2 glasses of wine for me, and I didn't pour it. The people at the restaurant poured it, so you know.
One glass of wine per.
We should ask Atlas Intel to perform a poll on
that.
There's
5 glasses in a bottle. Okay. So 4 are pretty. She's not correct. It's 5. Trust me, I've poured enough wine in restaurants. How many restaurants have you worked at, Amy? Okay, Leeroy.
I worked at Jillian's for about 2 hours, 3 hours before they fired me.
So I'm pretty confident. And the difference between 4 glasses and 5 glasses is considerable. If you're doing heaping glasses, yeah, you can do 4. But if you do 3/4 fulls, it's going to be 5 glasses. 5 glasses on any standard. So, and obviously that one extra glass of wine made the difference there, Amy.
Yeah, I drink a lot. I'm not gonna lie, I drink a lot. It was a lot.
Okay, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Let's get going. We've got 4 seconds. We'll be back in 3. No, I'm not using little glasses. Sorry. No. It's 750 milliliters per bottle, guys. It's 25 fluid ounces. That's a lot. It's not a 2-liter bottle of cola. It's not a mug of milk.
A liter of cola.
Liter of cola.
In my world, that's 3 glasses of wine. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you will. Those glasses are almost all the way full, right?
Hell yeah.
Right, but that's not the way. But that's not the way you pour a glass of wine. That's like saying, well, you don't put it to the. Now you may do that, but if you go into any restaurant, now if she was at home, that's one thing. But at a restaurant, they're going to pour you a 3/4 full, right? Right.
I see what you're saying. Restaurant as opposed to home use. I got it.
Yeah, they're not going to give you a full glass that's to the rim because then they don't want to openly admit you're a lush.
Yeah, I mean, when we went out last night, my glass of wine, the glass was like maybe a third full.
Yeah, it's 3/4 full. 3/4 full. You about 3 inches of room at the top, 3 fingers, 2.5 to 3 fingers at the top in a standard wine glass is where you want to pour it to. But first you give them a sniff, then a taste, then you go ahead and you pour a 3/4 full. That's usual. That's pretty standard. It doesn't matter. Amy's lightweight. That's it.
Now I am. I am now.
Yeah, she is now. Everyone's like, drink it out of a bottle. You uncultured swine.
Those are my people.
Do you want the truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can.
Now, it also depends, right? Because they've got the oversized glasses, which a lot of people enjoy. And those are like going to be a 1/4 full, right? So that's different. But a standard wine glass, fairly simple, fairly consistent. But most restaurants, it just depends.
That's the disparity between like regular serving size and then what I have in terms of like a breakfast cereal or a steak.
Right. Like, I mean, the one over to the left here is, you're not even 30% full. This one, you're close. Then you've got the green liquid, which is more like a flute wine glass. Well, that's the one that's 3/4 pour. And that's what most restaurants have, or the yellow, right?
Yeah.
That's a standard wine glass. You might see the red one, which is like a 50 pour, but that's going to be an additional 2 fluid ounces. So what you'll normally see.
Beer sign isn't pictured there, and that's what I normally use.
Right. That's a Stein. Ich Stein, but anyway. Okay, here we go.
Can't kiss the makeup or the party ends. Agree or disagree. Stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want. Damn, so what's your name? I won't tell no lies. Back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's stuff.
Folks, I didn't expect this, but we just actually got a note from the bartender at the restaurant Amy was at. I shit
Are
you
you
not.
serious?
Yes, and they had a picture of her, and here it is. There's the
Look
picture.
at that.
She even went back 10 years in age. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
It's a party.
That's definitely me.
that's
Yeah, that
You
looks
were
like
right.
something right before Deer Penthouse is announced. Yeah.
it wasn't a 60-75 pour. You're absolutely right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. That's definitely 4 glasses per bottle. I apologize. My bad. Things that I hear most often, that I always try to help people connect the dots, is what is past is prologue. And although Shakespeare not my favorite, it's an interesting thing when you look at 1980 and the crack epidemic and what the United States government was involved in with the Contras.
No kidding.
So I don't understand why people are so shocked and they call Roseanne a conspiracy theorist. Because there's evidence in the past of the government getting involved in this, and there's plenty of books on this, and you can read this.
Here's what I think. I love your show, by the way, Matt Spear, and
Thank you,
watched
ma'am.
you. Just discovered you about a week ago.
Ma'am,
And I
ma'am,
went, oh my
no,
God, this
you're-
guy's a genius. The facts he can
Oh,
spew.
God, I love you.
You can spew fact, and that's the sign of a genius.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I appreciate you asking me that.
So you just made my
I do
life.
remember back when they were bringing the crack cocaine into the black neighborhoods, and that proved that the CIA was doing it
Yes,
because
ma'am.
they were grooming that population, and they've been.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
What is going on, Don't Unfriend Me Nation? Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Who knows who Tim Sheehy is?
His name sounds familiar.
Nobody
I just
knows.
think of Nissan. I don't know. Isn't that a Nissan store?
Yeah. It's like Sheehy. Yeah, I think it's Sheehy. Sheehy out of he's running for U.S. Senate. United States Navy SEAL. I think it's in Montana. Yeah, it is in Montana. And something that here's the thing. I'm not going to go ahead and say anything. Yes, Liv, I can already feel it. I feel it. You're just telling me. I got you, baby. There you go. See?
What'd I do?
I forgot the goal.
Lighting.
Oh, I was going to say something else before we get
Go
started.
ahead. Start it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Jane was released from the hospital yesterday.
Outstanding.
She is home.
That is
yay.
wonderful news.
So
Yay.
just thought I would start out the show on a wonderful note.
I don't want to hear about Jane's got a gun. Janie Briggs got a gun. Congratulations, Jane. We're very happy for you. Now you can have Amy-sized glasses of wine and get yourself back into the hospital, because you drink that much. It's like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff. So Tim Sheehy, Navy SEAL, hundreds of missions. I have a respect for operators. I've always had a respect for operators. I don't care what you do.
Well,
There's a
and
level.
they should be.
Yeah, there should be. But let me explain something as kindly as I can. Although the intelligence community is about as constricted and refined as SEALs, we are refined for different reasons. Thank you, Janet.
Thank you, Janet.
Janet.
Intel is essentially an intelligence piece, but the understanding to retain facts and present and be accountable for the things you say, and having good deductive reasoning, logic, common sense, all these basic things. Thank you, Christine Clark.
Christine.
Very nice, ladies, and thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you helping us out. And the team is also definitely mental and physical too. The mental isn't necessarily intelligence. There's an acute intelligence which is needed, but it's more of just the ability of mind over matter, and a physical aptitude. Now, most team guys will tell you, "Thank you, Bobby Richardson." Holy moly, all thank you.
Thank you
we
very
love
much.
we love you. Thank you. You guys rock. You just gave Amy another bottle of wine. So
Yeah, they're
so,
expensive.
yeah, I'm gonna put a bow on this. I'm sorry. I just want to kind of set this up. So my whole thought process is, there's a level of most team guys who go through buds, and I've interviewed quite a few, and talked to quite a few. So my experience is just anecdotal. But I'll tell you, and also spending time in the area and watching them go through the training, and it's not like we didn't have to go through our own, but it's completely different than what they go through. But you get to kind of, if you work with the community, you got to kind of get to see what they go through and what they do. And I'll tell you that this with no equivocation, and I won't speak for the Brotherhood and the teams because I can't, so I won't. So I'll just talk about Intel. Even though it's an exclusive community, both are an exclusive community for two very different reasons. There are absolute shitbags in the Intel community, and I mean shitbags. People who I would never want to be on a watch with me. Never want them on a team with me. Never want them doing any form of intel collection that supports the field in any way, shape, or form, or supports the fleet, or anyone who puts people in harm's way. Like, I am totally cool with them supporting doing BGs or emptying trash cans in a skiff. That's about it. And those shitbags are found, rooted out, and eliminated quickly in the intel community. And unfortunately, that doesn't necessarily happen on the teams if they make it through a certain level and get with the team. And what happens is that most people are pretty shit hot and good at what they do, and then they get on the team, they get it through probation, they get their pin, and then ultimately, Budweiser. Then ultimately, there is this mentality inside the teams of the old SEALs and the new SEALs. And they're two very different things. And once again, I can't speak on that. I'm not going to. But what I'll tell you is I don't know Tim Sheehy at all. But Megyn Kelly had an interview with him, and there seems to be some issues with his service record and some of the things he said. And this seems to be a common practice with most military people who run for office that have questionable character. This is the thing that seems to come up. It's not anything else. So we're going to watch a video real quick. We're going to get right into it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just asking how so. Like, when you say that there is,
I'm going to show you.
Okay,
I'm going to show you. Let's let our fifth host, and who is not Ryan Samuels, tell us who would be. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Appreciate it, Maddie.
Thank you very much.
Let's go ahead and listen to Megyn Kelly, our honorary host at the Don't Unfriend Me show, because I appreciate her and hope that she joins the show someday soon. So,
wouldn't that be nice?
Yes, it would. Oh, yes. Sorry.
The show, dear.
Yes,
the show.
Sorry. All for the show. Yes, here it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got a version of her that's sitting right above me.
Yeah, but I'm not a big alcoholic fan. I like people who can all. No, I'm just teasing. Here we go. Can we watch this?
I am not as intelligent as Megyn Kelly.
You're amazing. You're not stupid, and you
might be more fun.
You sell yourself short. You're very quick. And Olivia and I were saying that the other night, how funny you are, and not when you have alcohol. I mean, just without it, you were great. Here it is. Let's listen to this.
They're saying, and I don't want to harp on this, I just want to give you the chance to explain yourself, because this is their closing message. It's all about this incident. So if voters are confused, you're going to explain it to them. They're saying that you were in a park, Glacier Park, that you dropped your weapon, that it went off inadvertently and it shot you in the arm, and that there's a park ranger saying she spoke to you about that. And it looks like you spoke to the Washington Post, and you said that you lied when you told the park ranger about this. So which is it?
So there's two things. One is that I don't know Matt Sheehy, so I can't speak on his character. I have to assume that he's an honorable dude and served his country, and he gets that no matter what, right? Unless it's proven otherwise. But my God, he looks like somebody who I was in direct conflict with, who was Army Ranger all the time, and Sean Dodd, who Liv.
Yes. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Nice to have you listening, Liv.
Sorry.
So anyway, Sean Dodd was a friend, but someone who I parted ways with. But he looks just like him. So when I first saw him, I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Did you shoot yourself in the arm inadvertently in Glacier Park?
No, we've discussed this at length, repeatedly with every media outlet for the last year. It's been beat to death. The point was, at the time, I was injured and went to the hospital. They required a police report because any gunshot wound requires a police report of any kind. And they said, we have to file this. We have to report this to law enforcement. It wouldn't work.
But
And
were
a
you
weapon of
wounded
that
in the
size
park?
had it happen.
Did you have a wound,
No.
Tim, in the park?
No. Yes, I fell and injured my arm when we were hiking. So that's why I went, because I could feel the bullet get dislodged when I fell on the arm. You could feel the bullet get dislodged, and then went to the ER to say, hey, look, I've got internal bleeding going on here. I've injured my arm. Can you take a look at this? Make sure there's nothing serious going on here. And then
Are there
as a
medical
result, they have
records
to
where
file a
the
report.
You fell on a bullet? What the?
I'm very
Hold on.
confused.
So am I. So let's hold on.
the ER can say we did not treat a gunshot wound?
Well, there isn't. I mean, that's the point. You go in, you check on it, and you leave. There's not an extensive medical record for any of this stuff. And unfortunately, that's the crux of this, is there's just not a whole lot to talk about. They decided to take this one report from a park ranger that I gave them that report. I stood in the parking lot and said, hey, this is what happened, and 5 minutes, we go on our way. And they decided to make that, the focal point of all
So
this.
confusing.
Me too.
I would
Yeah.
agree, because in one breath you're saying that you didn't shoot yourself, but then
They're saying,
somehow
and I don't want to.
it mysteriously the bullet just materialized in your arm. I don't understand.
Yeah, he fell and now the bullet got dislodged. Does
Okay.
that mean you were shot earlier? I'm very confused. It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so let's.
Where's Glacier Park?
Glacier's in Montana.
Montana.
It was my backyard. Pretty much. I spent every summer there.
Yeah. Okay. So here's this. Republican candidate for the U.S. Senate from Montana and former Navy SEAL has a difference than the Marine Corps. Marine Corps is always a Marine, and you can say former Navy SEAL just like you can say former Army, former Air Force, Coast Guard, Space Force as soon as they get somebody to retire, and but not Marine Corps, but even SEAL teams. The origin of the bullet wound in his right forearm. He has stated that he sustained the injury during a 2012 combat mission in Afghanistan, attributing it to a possible friendly fire. He chose not to report the wound at the time to avoid triggering an investigation that could have affected his team. In October 15, while visiting Glacier Park, he sought medical attention for his arm. He informed hospital staff about the bullet wound, leading to the involvement of a park ranger, Kim Peach. He told Ranger Peach that the injury resulted from his Colt 45 revolver accidentally discharging after, it's never accident, it's called negligent discharge, but whatever, after falling to the ground. Consequently, he was cited and fined $525 for illegally discharging a firearm in the park. He later admitted to lying about the incident to Ranger Peach, explaining that he fabricated the story to prevent a potential military investigation into his 2012 incident. He expressed concern that such an investigation could have led to disciplinary actions against his fellow service members. Controversy resurfaced during Sheehy's Senate campaign, with some questioning the veracity of the account. Ranger Peach publicly disputed Sheehy's version, asserting that the gunshot wound occurred during the 2015 incident in the Glacier National Park. Sheehy's campaign has dismissed these claims as politically motivated attacks. In a recent interview with Megyn Kelly podcast, just to give you some insight, Sheehy reiterated that the bullet wound was sustained in Afghanistan and not during the 2015 park incident. He maintained that he did not report the injury to avoid compromising his unit. The controversy continues to be focal. So my understanding is this: you get hit with a round in a forearm, and I'm having a hard time believing that, because there's a few reasons. One is, was this a sidearm? Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't a sidearm, then what caliber weapon was it? And if it wasn't a sidearm, right? Well, no, he said his 45 in the park went off.
Okay.
And hit him. So there's two different stories. He claims that he was shot overseas 2012 with his team and didn't want to create conflict for his team, so did not disclose the wound. According to that, then the wound remained in his arm, the round remained in his arm, and then his gun went off, but the bullet fell out of his arm because he hurt himself, and the park ranger had to report the gunshot because of the fort, because so it comes out of this. First question: I don't care about any of that. 2012, you were shot by a sidearm? Probably not. So a rifle. So you're telling me that at close range, you had a high caliber weapon at close range, hit you in the forearm, and you still have a forearm.
Right.
That every single bone is not broken vascularly, you're not torn apart, you literally have a hole in your arm, and you don't seek medical attention and don't report it. So basically you spit some whiskey into it, wrap it up, and then the bullet stays in there. And then later comes out in 2015. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit on this story too.
How in the world, after 3 years, is that bullet just going to fall out of your arm?
Well, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I don't care how much dirt you rub on a 5.56 wound, you're not going to have much of a forearm left.
Or a 2.2.
Well, and so he's saying his weapon discharged at the park as well. So there should be 2 bullets then, correct? And can't they just run ballistics on it? I mean, I'm so confused. He's saying his...
too.
It's like you're trying to get testimony from Alec Baldwin.
He didn't load it. He didn't load it.
I want to be really clear. I don't want to hold on. I don't want to like assume. Okay, hold on. I mean, like, if this is a good dude, then he's a good dude. But right. I don't understand. I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to find the story. Okay, here it is. Okay. Here's the story of a man named Brady. Okay, let's listen to this again. Tim Sheehy offered shifting explanations for a gunshot wound he sustained in his arm on a new interview on Friday. Last month, Kim Peach, a former U.S. Park Ranger, came forward publicly, said that Sheehy accidentally shot himself with a gun on the family trip in 2015 to Glacier National Park in Montana, contradicting the former Navy SEALs campaign bio, where he was wounded in combat, is what he said. So his bio says I was hit in combat, okay? So there's controversy number 1, right? Were you wounded in combat? That's an important thing. If you're claiming you're wounded in combat, there's a Purple Heart.
Sure.
There's going to be a paper trail. Because when you say wounded in combat, there is a paper trail because Purple Heart's going to be issued pretty much in every situation. Even a friendly fuck. Depends. But most often or not, if you get shot in combat, you're going to receive a Purple Heart. So it's hard for me to understand if he's claiming he was shot in combat. First of all, any operator is going to, I mean, one of the first things they teach you when you're going to be in harm's way or in a physically demanding job or mentally is to document every injury you have in the military, right? You get it documented every fucking time. And this is renowned because when these guys come out of them, most of them are suffering TBIs, most of them are suffering PTS, they've got physical ailments, so you document. Okay. Recently, Sheehy has claimed that he actually lied to the Ranger in 2015, telling Peach that he accidentally shot himself in order to conceal the fact that he may have obtained the bullet wound during a friendly fire incident while deployed abroad. So he's claiming in 2012 he was friendly fucked. Asked Friday if there were medical records to prove his story, Sheehy told former Fox News host Megyn Kelly, not an extensive medical record from his emergency room hospital visit. He said he had internal bleeding after the bullet in his arm became dislodged after he fell while on a hike in the park. Okay, so told park ranger I was shot, but says that it was from a 2012 wound in Afghanistan, but he injured his arm when he fell and the round that was in his arm fell out. Yeah, this is bullshit story.
Yeah.
With no fucking doubt in my mind. Like, this is a guy who's spinning his wheels. Like, there's a story here. None of it sounds accurate. And he said something stupid. And instead of just going, listen, I misspoke. This is what happened. He's the rule of digging holes, folks, is when you're in one, stop digging, right?
Oh,
so let me finish.
Web we weave, right?
Right. Asked Friday if there were medical records. Okay. There's not a whole lot to talk about, said Sheehy, calling the stories a distraction. So confusing, Kelly responded during an interview. Sheehy also offered contradictory explanations for who may have been responsible. Okay, so in his interview with Kelly on Friday, 37-year-old GOP Senate hopeful suggested that he may have been shot by an Afghan ally in a friendly fire incident. He called the environment at times messy and described the challenging of operating alongside Afghan forces. Very common, where you would have Afghans who, either intentionally or unintentionally, would end up shooting friendly forces. It was hazardous. But in his 2023 memoir, he wrote he was struck by a friendly fire ricochet bullet. Thank you, Jesus. By a fellow SEAL who wanted to shield from repercussions. Struck by a friendly fire ricochet. You're not going to get in trouble for a friendly fire ricochet.
No, you're not.
Unless you're discharging rounds negligently in a close proximity to your team.
They could have been doing drills. I could see that.
In Afghan. Friendly fire ricochet bullet by a fellow SEAL. Yeah, maybe. I didn't want the teammate who had fired the shot, a total stud. Ever heard a team guy talk about his teammates that way? Very badass. He's a stud. He's a stud. Whatever. Okay. Successful career as a SEAL to be punished officially or reputationally by an accident. That was no way his fault. He wrote in the book. It wasn't even a tough or dangerous mission. Okay. So it wasn't a training. It was a mission. It was a milk run, just like his training flight, but it went bad quickly. When the Post asked about the passage in his book in April, he said he was not certain whether he was shot by a friendly fire or by whom, describing the incident. To be very clear, I don't know where the bullet came from, he said. Sometimes people find that hard to believe, but in Hollywood, they make it look like a gunfight. Everyone knows exactly what's going on. That's just not how it goes down. So you were in a gunfight or was it a friendly fire?
I'm pretty assuming that when you get shot, you're going to know. I've never been shot.
That's not what he said. He said he doesn't know where it came from.
Right.
100% sure.
He just said, he's saying that he doesn't know where it came from, but at the same time, he feels the need to protect his friend who he thinks may have shot him, but he doesn't know where it came from. Like, yeah. I'm so confused.
There's more. Meanwhile, the Ranger Peach. Can I talk to the Ranger Grape? I want to talk to the Ranger Grapefruit. I'm not comfortable with talking to Ranger Peach. Told New York Times earlier this month he was 100% sure he shot himself that day. In 2015, he recalled unloading Sheehy's gun at the time and finding 5 live rounds and the casing of one that had been fired in a 45. What type of
a 45 in a form is going to leave a hell of a mark.
And a 45 in a wheel gun? I mean, is that what you're saying?
Right.
Or it's a 5 capacity mag 45, which no. I'm sure there is a 5 round capacity 45 out there. I just don't know if
that it was 5 plus the empty casing one.
Either so, 1 in the pipe and 5 in the mag, or 6 in the mag. Can you name a 45 that has standard 6 in the mag? I can't. Can't think of a 45 with standard 6 in the mag.
Well, he said it was a Colt earlier in the story, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. So Colt 45. Maybe he was talking 40 ounces of Colt malt liquor.
Yeah.
So hold on a second. So 44 is in a wheel gun, right? 44 mag. So 357, 38, 22. There's not a 45 wheel gun out there, is there, that I'm not aware of? Somebody want to Google this? Leeroy, you want to Google this up here? See if there's a 6-round 45 that you can come up with? A 6-shooter, right, but a 6-shooter wheel gun, right? 6-shooter. But you're not talking about a 6-shooter, what, a compact 45 with 5 rounds? Really? I mean, I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure they exist. So it'd be a compact 45 then, right? Revolver Cobra. Okay, there you go, revolver Cobra. But do you really think this guy shot himself with a hammer gun and going to pretend that it accidentally discharged when he fell?
Who carries that?
Well, that's the thing I'm wondering. Well, you could be carrying it for bears, but that's not exactly. Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. Revolver Cobra. Okay, 45 long Colt. I know, but what? Okay, yes, there are older guns. I understand that. But I'm talking modern day weaponry. I'm talking something that a team guy would carry. And he carried a 45 with 5 rounds.
I can't think of a single team guy that would be walking around with a wheel gun that looks like it was built in the 1800s. You just don't do it.
Well, the 45 long Colt, Tommy says. But Tommy, call in. Make this easier on me. You keep looking. Critical race that could determine which party controls the Senate.
Paul said he wants to call in.
Paul, call in. Yeah, call in. Somebody call in. Yeah, you can call in. Yeah, 44 is not a 45.
Yeah, I didn't think you could carry in a federal park either, but
You can.
you know what? I think
you can. I still think you can discharge your weapon.
Yeah, I think my dad always brought the rifle whenever we went to Glacier, because there's always bears.
Phone lines are now open, so somebody call. And it's not like, listen, I'm just not thinking of all the weaponry that, of course, an older weapon, yes, but a concealed carry 45 might be a 5-round mag, because I know with my 9mm, but my 9 concealed carry that's a single stack, and I can carry 6 in my Glock 42. So a 45, you carry what, 4? I've never had a concealed carry 45, so I don't know. What's up, buddy? Talk to me, Goose. Who am I talking to? Is this Paul? Hey, is this Paul?
Hey, this is Paul.
Hey, Paul, talk to me, buddy.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of chime in on this. I'm up here in Montana, obviously.
Yeah.
This was a pretty big local issue. It's come out many different ways. The first time it came out, it was he did have a 45 revolver.
Figured.
Somewhat illegally in the park. You're not allowed to carry in the park.
Okay, good for Olivia. She got that. We didn't.
Yep. And also, there was a story that came with it when it was initially brought up that his friend was carrying the revolver in the park, which I don't know why you're carrying a 45 for a bear gun. That's
stupid.
Dumb.
Stupid. You're just going to piss it off.
Right. But that his friend had accidentally shot him, and to not get his friend in trouble, he told the park ranger that he dropped the revolver and it went off and shot him in the arm.
Paul, do you want to tell everyone the probability of dropping a revolver that isn't cocked? The probability of that going off?
Pretty much nil.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. It has
to be
like
a Glock. It's like a Glock going off. That isn't racked. Okay, so real quick, we're getting a bunch of information here. Single stack, like I said, 5 to 7 rounds. Glock 36, Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 45. So the propensity of the round, the overall size of the round is obviously a little bit thicker, but can still carry. A double stack is 13 rounds. But yes, if he's saying it's a wheel gun, that's what I thought. Like, there's just, in my opinion, you're not going to carry a conceal 45 in the woods. It's just stupid. First of all, it's a poor selection of a handgun. Second, it's just why. Just why? It's like bringing a fucking Barrett 50 cal to hunting deer. Why? What's the point? There's gonna be nothing left. So
I've heard of a lot of people who go out into the woods, and because they are worried about bear, normally they will take a 10mm or something of different size or caliber.
So then you got a question, Paul.
Go
ahead, buddy.
What's that?
Go ahead. I'm listening
General
to you.
General rule up here hunting, nothing less than a 357 Magnum.
Right. 500 Win Mag.
Most hunters will carry the 44.
Yep.
When they came out with the 10, some guys carry the 10. But yeah, typically it's something bigger than a 357 mag. Yep. Anything less than that is not going to stop a bear.
Right. And from Colorado, we have black bear up there, but a grizzly is what you're going to get up. There's no fucking way. You're not going to carry a 45. That's what I said to begin with. You're going to piss them off. So it's a wheel gun. So, but even if, okay, let's just say it's racked. He's got it cocked. Maybe they're out shooting beer cans or some bullshit, which really is stupid. You're a team guy. I mean, you pretty much have access to anywhere you want to fire, I'm sure. But all you got to do is say you're a SEAL, and you're going to get offers to go wherever you want. Right. But let's just assume that he's got a 45. He's got it cocked. His buddy slips and falls. The chances of you getting hit in the forearm are slim to none. And if you get hit by a 45 in the forearm, you're hurting. I mean, you're hurting. I mean, that thing's got like a 79% stop rate within like 10 feet. And that's not, if it's not a plus P or what type of round it is, we don't know. We don't know if it's full metal jacket. We don't know if it's defense. Okay, so go ahead, Paul. Tell us the rest of the story.
But that was just a thing. And then eventually the bullet was in his arm from Afghanistan, and there was no really clear what happened there, how he got it. But then when he fell, the bullet didn't fall out. It just dislodged internally in his arm from where it was sitting, apparently.
Oh, that makes sense.
And so he was concerned with arterial bleeding internally from the bullet.
Wouldn't keep the bullet in your arm
and like I said, I've heard this all through media and local interviews and state interviews and things like that with him. The bullet didn't fall out. It just dislodged within his arm, and he was concerned with having an artery cut or something like that, which is why he went to the ER.
I was being facetious, by the way. Kind of like the Kennedy stretcher theory. So the reason why is that round goes in there. Everyone shows you these pristine rounds that Kennedy assassination. That's not what happens. When you fire a round, it is going to take severe abuse on that round, and it will have sharp edges, fragmentation, all those type of things. I find it very hard to believe that a person at close range took a 45 in the arm and did not have surgery, that did not have removal. And it's possible he just could have went clean through the muscle in Afghanistan and then just got sutured up and whatever, but that would be reported. That would be in his VA records. He would have gotten a Purple Heart more than likely for that if it was combat mission, even if it's friendly fuck, and especially when you don't know where it came from. So assuming, it sounds like he and his buddy, I mean, just assuming, we don't know. Paul, what do you think happened? You're up there. I'm guessing, and everyone else is guessing. What do you think happened?
The concern for the internal bleeding with a dislodged round in your arm from Afghanistan makes sense with the ricochet. Like you said, the bullet is going to be damaged. It's not a pristine bullet, so it's got sharp edges.
Right.
If you fall down on your arm and it dislodges and you can feel it, then yeah, you're worried about those sharp edges cutting arteries and things. But like I said, the initial story that came out was that they did some sort of investigation and he lied for his friend who accidentally shot him in the arm and told the park ranger that he dropped his gun. And that's how it got shot. That's how he got shot, or that's where the bullet wound came from. So that part doesn't fit with the Afghanistan part.
Okay.
And the fact that they found 5 live rounds and 1 empty casing in a wheel gun.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. But like you said, though, I don't understand how you take a round in the forearm from, 3 feet?
Yeah.
Right. If the gun hit the ground.
Yep.
Yeah. If the gun hit the ground and then hit you in the forearm, maybe 4 feet if you got your hands up?
Yep. Where'd the round go? I mean, because you and I both know 45 goes into the arm. What direction is that coming out of? Right. Did it stay in the arm? But like I said,
it's definitely breaking your forearm.
Yes, a 45 for sure. You're at least going to break something, right? I mean, there'll be a weak point where that hits, where you're going to break something, whether it's your arm, whether it's your wrist, whether it's your elbow, whether it's whatever. But the question is where the round go, because once you have a round enter your body, the issue is exit wound and then secondary entry at some other point on your body. Okay, so here's what it comes down to: is this guy a good dude?
From what I've seen, from what I've read, the research I've done on him seems to be. I mean, this is his only mess, so to speak.
Okay.
As far as his political career, he's running against long-sitting Democrat John Tester, who, honestly, I think is a good guy as far as what he does for Montana.
Yep.
He's a third-generation farmer out of Big Sandy, so he's born and raised here in Montana. He's done good things for Montana, but as a Democrat, when he gets to Washington, he falls in line,
Yep, of course.
And
they all
so
do.
that's right. And so that's the local argument here is, he's a Republican, he's a Navy SEAL, he's this, he's that, but he's also a rich out-of-state millionaire who came in and bought an entire peninsula on Flathead Lake with a big-ass house on it. He bought 130-something thousand acres over in eastern Montana and charges people like $12,000 to hunt on the property. It's prime elk land.
Wow.
Damn.
So these are all the Democrat hitting points on
Must
him.
have found that Saddam Hussein gold, huh, Leeroy?
Something, yeah. I don't know. I mean, he apparently develops, designs, builds his company, firefighting planes, you know, the water scoopers and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's got some ties into that somehow, somewhere. So I don't know if that's where he's made his money, but yeah. So
Anybody have any questions for Paul?
Thing. He's in this conundrum, but
anybody have any questions for Paul? Because this is it's an interesting topic. No, feel good.
Wouldn't his, if he was shot at Glacier Park, wouldn't his arm be bleeding? Did the park ranger say the arm was bleeding? Because I would assume that's really going to tell.
Well, that's my point. That's why I said I made the joke that it just fell out, because if a bullet fragment is in your arm and he falls and it dislodges, well, then how does he know? You know what I'm saying? Obviously there was blood. There had to be blood. I mean, because she says he was shot. This comes down to this. This is what happens when you don't tell the truth. Somebody's not telling the truth, and either it's him or it's Peach. And honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about any of this. I think federal state parks are ridiculous and they should be completely abandoned. I think the federal government should own the least amount of land as possible, but that's just me. Yep. I think they're stupid, and that's it. But I also have to respect Montana, because Montana is very different. A lot of people don't understand is Montana is a very independent, middle of the road state. They not a big fan of outsiders, but they also don't like establishment politicians. They don't like to be tied to Democrats or Republicans. They very much, and independent candidates do very well in Montana. The average is 3 to 5% nationwide, but in Montana they can get 7 to 9% of the vote, which makes it very hard. Why he is going to struggle in this election is because there's an independent running, and he more than likely will take from the Republican voter, as that usually happens. But it's also a good sign for Donald Trump, because if independents are breaking in Montana, independents may break for him here. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Your gut on Sheehy. Oh, go ahead.
Just FYI, I'm looking at the kind of the way people identify in terms of which party in Montana. It's like, it's to your point, it's not that far off. It's like 56% are showing Republican, 41% for Democrat. So it's not that far off.
Californians have moved up there.
No, what, Liv?
A lot of Californians have come up.
Oh, actually, that's not true. There's a lot of conservatives. In fact, conservatives are dominating the shit out of Montana. They've had a huge influx of conservatives move into Montana. And although it's very, very cute on the TV show Yellowstone that a bunch of rich, uppity, elitist Democrats are coming in and buying, it's actually a shit ton of Republicans. And there's the ratio to proportion of new conservatives in Montana is one of the highest in the country. So, Paul, am I full of shit? Let me know.
And no, you are exactly right on. I build houses for a living, and we can't build them fast enough right now. And they're coming from Texas, they're coming from California, they're coming from Washington, and the vast majority of new homeowners that we build for have gotten out of Seattle, have gotten out of LA and San Francisco and come here because they're tired of that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not so much. And like I said, just my personal experience from the families and people that I've built houses for, and they've come from out of state. Most of them are, I just had to get the hell out of there. I wanted to be somewhere more like Montana, more conservative, more, and yeah. And to your point, as far as Montana being middle of the road, we have a vast rural community, obviously, but then we have these little pockets of Billings and Missoula and Helena that are dark blue.
Yeah,
and so that's kind of where we get
most cities, right?
Even out.
Yeah, it's like most cities. Most cities have the deep blue, and that's where states are losing it. I mean, that's why Texas is struggling. Every single state in the union has huge pockets of, unless you're in like Arkansas, but even there you see that if look at them where all the blue is at, it's always in the cities. A survey from Emerson College polling in the Hill found Sheehy leading Tester by 50% to 46 with a 3% undecided. That 3% undecided is probably going to go ahead and break for Tester, at least probably 2 out of 3. So you're looking at a good chance for Sheehy to win. And honestly, I don't care about this. Like, this is stupid. His military service record, the community is going to hold him accountable. If he's lying about his service record, he's going to get destroyed by the Brotherhood. They're going to eat him alive. That's not my job to do. It's not your job to do. It's not a reporter to do. It's for the SEAL teams to do. And the SEAL teams will take care of that. As far as what happened in the park, if this guy's covering for a buddy who there was a negligent discharge and it hit him, good for him. If I'm out with my buddy and I take a round in the ass, you know what? I'm gonna take care of my buddy. I'm not gonna let that paperwork is very different. Maybe I would lie for my buddy.
It's
I don't know.
self-inflicted.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a question for Paul. Mel wants to know if the people who are moving into Montana are bringing in their politics, or are they?
Yeah, I just said they were.
Changing.
Just said they were.
Okay.
Go ahead, Paul. Yeah, you can answer that question again.
And they are bringing their politics, but the majority of them, and I live right across the lake from where Olivia was, Big Fork. I live in Lakeside. Mm-hmm. So we're more rural. But yeah, most of the families and the people that I've built houses for up here in the Flathead Valley, they're all conservative. They wanted to get out of the blue areas. Building a house right now for a guy just south of DC. His wife is over there right now, and he's here supervising the building of his house. Same thing. Mm. They've always wanted to come and retire in Montana, and they're sick of DC, and they don't like living there. And eventually, when they get their situation in order on that side of the country, they'll move here permanently. Mm. But right now, they're going back and forth.
Well, Paul, thanks for shedding some light on that for us. Helps to understand. We were fairly close in our recap. I look at it this way. That's not stolen valor to me. If he claims that he was hit in Afghanistan, he needs to back that up. If his story is that I don't have the records of that, I call bullshit. 120,000% bullshit. Nobody's going to cover a wound up in. No. If you listen, I know guys that took gray shots and maybe had some shrapnel or secondary, laceration wounds or something who wrapped up, bandage, and field dressed it, and that was it. But you take a round from deflection or straight on, you're reporting that. And if not, you're reporting it when you get back home to the VA. So it just doesn't make any sense. And honestly, it's none of my business. I don't care. It's nobody else's business. Let the teams take care of it. But let's go ahead and go on if that's the only thing this guy's done and he's a multimillionaire, well, then he's probably the cleanest fucking guy in Washington. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. That whole story doesn't make sense three different ways, between Afghanistan, the park.
Right.
Self-inflicted or friend-inflicted. Yeah. The whole thing doesn't make sense.
Maybe it was Peanut the Chipmunk looking for repay.
Right.
Those chipmunks you guys have black squirrels. You have black squirrels up in Montana. Those little fuckers are evil.
We have some here.
They actually look like they have horns on their head.
I know they're devils. Ears. They're Satan. I'm not gonna tell you what we called them in Colorado. What my dad called them every time he saw them. but they're full black squirrels, and it's like, anyway. So listen, Paul, who's gonna win tomorrow?
Trump.
Okay, good. Attaboy. Right. Just was checking to see how you're feeling. Paul, I always love it when you call in. Appreciate you calling in. Thanks, brother. It really helps out a lot.
Appreciate your time, guys.
You got it, buddy. Thanks.
Yep.
Paul, good. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks. Phone lines are open. Yeah. Mel, I hope that answered your question. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be snotty. I was like, I just answered. I didn't know if Olivia didn't hear or whatever. I apologize. I certainly wasn't trying to be snotty.
I can attest to the whole Montanans don't like outsiders. In the summer when the tourists came in, we called them terrorists. Yeah. Because our town went from 10,000 people to 100,000 people. for 3 months, and it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, we were a huge tourist destination, huge vacation destination where I grew up, and man, it sucked when they came in.
Yeah.
I hated it
Oh,
every summer.
I bet.
Even though that was my job, I babysat for them, and I made a crap ton of money off of them when I was a teenager, but still.
We feel that way now in here. Rachel says, long pause there, Paul. I think it was a delay in the software more than anything. All right, folks, let's shift gears. Anybody else on this? I'm sorry, Amy and Olivia, you had to go through that, but it was important. I wanted to cover it because I cover stolen valor stuff every election, and I'm not going to do it just because this guy's on the team that I cheer for. You know, he's fellow Navy,
right?
He's a fellow shipmate. I'm not going to protect him.
We have to, in order to have integrity, you have to be able to call out the BS when you see it or when you understand it. Anyway,
yeah, it doesn't sound right to me, but honestly, I don't care. I don't think there's no there. This is stupid. This is a guy who's winning, and Montana has a lot of money that's liberal, and they want to win. Amy, go ahead, hon. Sorry.
Oh, I just don't. I think it sounds like a child made up this story. But again, I don't know what the importance of it is. I don't know the guy. I really don't have any skin in this game, so I don't think I care. I don't think I should care. I don't.
I really just don't give a shit. He's good looking. That's all I care about. I'm with you. I don't care either. Who cares? Rachel, I wasn't coming down on you either. I just making sure, I'm ready for the election, and I'm trying to be really grounded lately and not be grumpy. And I'm really in a good mood. I'm happy, and I just had the best night of my life last night. Not my life, but probably in the last 4 years, and it was just a beautiful night. Went out to dinner with the family, and we laughed, and we got all dressed up, and my beautiful wife was there, and it was great. And then Olivia was also there. And then my girlfriend was sitting across the way.
She was pretty cute. She was pretty cute.
She was pretty hot. So, but no, it was just a beautiful night. It was great, and it was good to be with family. And it felt like we had shed some skin from the things that happened a couple of years ago, and we were finally free of it. And everybody had a great night, and it was great food and beautiful. We went over to the mill in Percival. And we like that. It's a great place. So
leftovers were great today. I had mine for lunch. If you didn't know that I warmed mine up for lunch.
I have no doubt in my mind that you were going to do that.
Ribs?
No, I got the smoked chicken fettuccine or something like that.
Ooh, and then I got the smoked chicken later. So let's go into this. More grumpy Republican commercial. You guys got to watch this one. Not Lincoln Project, but just as stupid. And we do have a new Lincoln Project commercial to watch. Here you go. Save her life. Vote November 5th. Here it is. Merry Christmas. Everybody enjoy this.
What?
I'm already laughing. Can't help it. Sorry.
Dr. Davis, what do I do?
John, she needs an abortion, or she's going to die from the pregnancy.
Wait a second. We've moved on. It's a new. Hi, caller. You've reached the Don't Unfriend Me show. How can we help you?
Hello. I was wondering where I can get a hotel room. I got a chick with me, and she's pretty hot. But I don't know.
It's called It's called ImaginationFairyland.com. You can go there and. What can we do for you?
Hey, this is Joseph from Minnesota.
Minnesota. Joseph, Minnesota Wild are playing some good hockey, eh?
I tell you what, man. I think it's 8-1-2.
Yeah, they always start off well. 2, they'll tank after Christmas. Anyway, what's up, man? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I flew to Vegas to see Trump.
Yeah, I know you told me.
He was in Henderson.
Yeah.
And it was, I believe it was Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Stayed up all night and showed up at midnight. Kicked us away out of there. But I got there and I got like 6th row center. So I see him finally.
Mm-hmm. I think I saw the. Did you send me some photographs? I think I saw some photographs.
Yep. Yeah, I put it on the dumshow.com. Yes,
yeah,
I did.
So tell me, how was this your first Trump rally?
No, it's third one. I went in 2015, and then in St. Cloud, Minnesota. I went there.
Uh-huh.
And wasn't able to get in. Remember, I had kind of a scuffle, not a scuffle, but kind of like people pushing me in the back and trying to get in with Secret Service there. No, they didn't let me in terms of people pushing me in the back, and I almost got in, but
well, how packed?
This time,
Joseph, just because we don't have a lot of time. How was Vegas? Was there a lot of people? Was it packed? How were the lines? I mean, was it like Donald Trump, where he's like, "There's 175,000 people here, and we could only let in 2,000"? Was it? How was it?
it wasn't like St. Cloud, Minnesota. It was pretty, actually not too bad until a little bit later, and then thousands of people, lines you could see for blocks and blocks of people trying to get in.
So it was packed.
Yeah.
So what's your gut? Is Vegas going to shed the blue skin, or is it going to stay blue?
I was wearing my MAGA gear, and people always gave me a thumbs up or love what you're wearing and go Trump, and there's a good vibe.
Okay.
In Vegas, so
good. So the trip was worth it. Did you gamble at all? Did you make any money?
Yeah, I played 3-card poker, and I won pretty good. And prostitute came by me, and she got kicked out, and there you go. I didn't hit on her, nothing.
No, that's okay. Sounds like my night. I played 3-card poker too. So that's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. You're back home now. You're safe. Everything good?
Everything's good, Matthew.
Okay. All right, Joseph. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for calling me, man. Always love hearing from you. Thank you, sir. We're going to go ahead and watch this stupid Farkin video if it's okay with you, okay?
That's fine.
All right, brother.
Thanks,
Talk
Joseph.
soon.
Thank you.
You too. I'll try to share those pictures when I get them.
Joseph.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Well, take care.
You can and everyone can call in. I love it when people call in, so we love it. But let's go ahead and watch this shit. So, like I said, phone lines are open. I would much rather talk to you and hear how you're feeling. So if anybody wants to go ahead and make the call, you should. Let's go ahead and watch this stupid shit.
Dr. Davis, what do I do?
John, she needs an abortion or she's going to die from the pregnancy.
Wow.
Sorry.
That's a really, really good phone that it can tell that. I mean, it must have a scanner that we're not aware of. Scotty, I need more warp speed.
You can tell by the way she's screaming.
Yeah. Wow. That sounds like she's got a dum-dum baby in there. We need to take that thing out right now.
That's not happening.
What are you doing? Who are you?
Sorry, I can't say it.
I'm your Republican congressman, now that we're in charge.
Shut up, honey. I'm trying to fucking listen to this guy.
We banned abortion. Know it?
I told you not to vote for Kamala Harris. I told you in line, didn't I? I should have only have to tell you once.
Exceptions.
You can't do this. She's dying.
I won the last election, so it's my decision. But don't worry. You can still have children, just not with her.
Oh my God.
Oh, bird.
I'm voting for Kamala. Fuck this.
Well,
I'm not.
Maybe he should have kids with somebody else. She seems like a wimp. Like
She's a whiny little whiny. She's a fucking ginger. What do you expect? I mean, seriously, come on.
Freaking, I did 5 centimeters, both kids at home.
Olivia's like,
Fuck that.
For 30 days, man, my vagina looked like this.
Dude, I started dilating at 33 weeks with Hayden and 34 weeks with Ethan. So, man, those women that go into the hospital at 1 centimeter begging for medicine.
Yeah.
What kind of wimps are you? Just freaking take a deep breath. My God.
You would not survive on Game of Thrones, lady. I'm just letting you know.
Not everyone's cervix is built the same, Olivia.
Yeah, well.
It's true.
First of all, that guy's a pussy. Call the doctor, dude. Go. Just go. Like why? First of all, what the fuck is this guy doing in people's homes? I understand he's the evil Republican with special powers, and he comes into people's houses.
Notice how they made him an old white guy. Sure.
Yeah, just so stupid.
Exactly.
These commercials are so fucking cringe. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard. Did you guys hear Kamala today at her thing? Oh my God, they were like, Kamala, Kamala, Kamala. What did she say, Liv? She's like, let's get out and vote. Let's get out and vote. let's get out and vote. And dude, 6 fucking times and nobody. And she's just like, it's like the cheerleader, you know, it's like the slow clap thing. And they're like, no, now's not the time. She could not get a rally going about these people are paid. Like, I didn't believe that shit at first, but now I'm like, these people are paid. Like this whole thing, like we're going to talk about it. We got a lot. I'm so excited for tonight. I mean, we got a good show, so we got to keep moving. But here's,
if you look at a Trump rally, the people behind him are like moving, and they got the signs, and they're dancing and stuff.
They're shooting at him. I mean, it's fun.
And behind Kamala, all the signs are down, and they're just standing as still as possible. And when they're supposed to clap, they clap, and then the signs go right back down again. There's like no excitement.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's like a Lucille Ball where they had to hold up the signs instead of applause. You know,
right, exactly. Here is Lincoln Project, our favorite pedophilia crew and chunky white guy who's under investigation, who's way puffy. Here he is, not Leeroy, me.
Call us the flyover states.
Leeroy made fun of my forehead again in pre-show. Again, it's like 17 times. Yeah, he did.
May not know that much about it.
We're not talking to you right now. Just you're in timeout.
But we are the America Politician Show when
Leeroy
they describe.
Okay,
right now,
you know what? We're going to start it over. Here we go. My fault. It's my fault. I set the precedent. I started talking it. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the hit.
They call us the flyover states. You may not know that much about us, but we are the America Politician Show when they describe the heartland of America. Our churches, our farms, our main streets. We feed this nation, serve it in war and peace. We are America. Which is why, in this election, we're at a crossroads, with our conservative traditions at odds with today's Republican Party and their MAGA agenda. They say they want stronger borders, but killed the bipartisan border bill, one that would have closed loopholes dangerous cartels used to infiltrate our country. They call themselves Republicans, but what does that even mean to them? R next to their name? They want bigger government and bigger taxes, and their tariffs will bankrupt us. Republican used to mean something. This November, vote like a real Republican. Vote against Trump.
Yeah, that's called gaslighting. That's 100%.
That is the exact opposite of everything that is actually happening in America. The 100%.
The signs.
Go ahead, Liv.
We had the Republicans for Harris signs all over, and the Conservatives for Harris.
Listen to this. This is great.
Freaking hilarious.
What did Ethan say? Tell him.
I don't remember. I'd have to get him.
Wait, where was this? Like in our town?
Yeah, there was one on our corner.
They're all over our town. It's like Republicans for Harris. They're all the way down the street.
Conservatives for Harris was going into the Target in Leesburg.
Ethan.
But apparently Lincoln Project couldn't afford to hire Sam Elliott because he was trying to do a Sam Elliott impersonation.
They were the ones that hired Sam Elliott the first time. They just couldn't do it the second time.
I was going to say second time. That guy was trying real hard.
Wait, come over here. Get your face on camera. When you saw the right here over the shoulder. Just get over here. Right here. Squeeze in. When you saw the Conservatives for Harris, what did you say about the joke? Go ahead and tell them.
I said it was like kind of like vegans for meat, basically.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
I love that.
Thank you. Yep. So.
Let's put it in the vote.
He's doing the Kamala.
He's doing the Kamala Harris thing.
Come to the show them what happened. Go ahead.
Let's put it in the vote.
No, you gotta come over here and get on camera.
It was so stupid.
Get on camera right here. There. Now do it. Put your mouth right there, and they'll see it. What were you? Okay, get out of here. Just get the hell out of my office. Get out of my office.
Kamala Harris impression, actually.
You do? Then come do it.
What do you got? Come here. Come show us.
Okay,
let's do it.
You have to ask me a question.
I will ask you a question.
Okay, you gotta give me.
Yes, I got it. Just come in here.
Okay, you have to ask. I
got it.
I do it better than Amy. Better than Amy.
They don't do a good job, so I would hope so.
That's not hard. All you got to do is not be shit faced. Well, actually, Kamala's always shit faced. So
you gotta give me a.
You're not getting a headphone. No.
Yes.
Do Kamala. Here it comes.
Okay.
So Kamala, I have a question for you. Can you please tell me what makes you qualified to run for president of the United States?
Well, Greg. I grew up I grew up in a middle class family, and my mom, she was amazing. She cooked dinner for us every night. And as I've mentioned, I've grown up in a middle class family, like many other Americans. And I think it would be so great for me to be in office because I grew up in a middle class family. I know what it's like.
Right. Right. Okay, get out. So that's very good. Thank you. Amy's better.
You need to work on the cackle.
Yeah, the cackle's good. That was better.
That was better.
You would have had it then. Holy shit, my children. Folks, finally, I want to explain something to you. A commercial worth watching. Dare I say, a commercial, the greatest commercial ever told. Here it is. Enjoy this. It's about time. I've been waiting for it. Here it is.
Come on, boys. Let's make America great again. It's your turn, buddy.
Before you cast your vote in this election, think about how it'll impact the people you care about the most.
Daddy!
Remember, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Do your patriotic duty.
You bet I did, brother. What happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Paid for by Vote Common Good.
Gosh.
So
That is
now,
the gayest commercial I have ever seen.
right. So now, in order to be men, we have to look at each other like bitches.
Right.
Come on. You're the only other guy on the panel. I'm waiting on you.
What do you want me to do?
How do you feel about this, dude? Would you look at me intimately over your little voting booth and like give me a little look?
That whole thing is ridiculous. That whole line of trying to guilt trip dudes into voting for Harris just because you think what? Like, if I had a daughter and she has a moment of irresponsibility in her teenage years, like, we're going to have that discussion, right? I mean, that's basically what this is. That's the abortion argument. That's what he was looking at his daughter and thinking, right? Except that abortion is no longer part of the Republican Party platform. And if anything now, it's up to your state. So why is that even a thing?
I don't know.
It's a stupid ad.
We're the only party that's removed abortion from our platform. We have solved the problem. We have given it to the states. Why do Democrats need to run on it? Go ahead and run on it in your own hometown. You're absolutely right, Leeroy. Whoa. Joseph, watch that. You're going to get banned from Facebook. I would definitely delete that comment. If one of the mods could delete the comment, but please do not delete him. Don't ban. Just delete the comment, please. He's going to get banned for that. So you can't. So please, Joseph Hillstrom, he's a good friend of the show. He's just he didn't know what he was saying. So
It's my fault.
Hell, now I gotta know what he said. Damn.
No, he did. He just English word for cigarette, but he said it. It sounds like maggots.
Yes,
but not. Cardi B. Cardi B. Who watches? Do you mean to meet you up, baby? You okay?
No, I'm okay.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
I don't either. I think she's a rapper. Do you guys know who Cardi B is?
Yeah, I know who she is. But...
Okay.
I know who she. I've seen her before. I think, if I saw her, I would know her. I'm pretty sure.
So Cardi B is supposedly, this video came out last year. And what's weird is that now she's endorsing Kamala Harris. Okay, like endorsing.
Sure.
Like, oh, I would totally like give my blood and my uterus and all my winnings to her, Kamala. But this was her a year ago, and it's really strange because here she seems like she's awake and totally would be a Trump supporter. Listen to this.
Don't fucking ask me. I don't give a fuck. The resume.
By the way, Cardi B knows like 10 words. She speaks about as much English, and her entire dialect is very similar to orcs or trolls. Very guttural. So
she looks like
enjoy.
A special sock puppet right there.
She is a special sock puppet. But here she is.
Saying, I don't give a fuck. I'm not endorsing no fucking presidents no more. Because we could fund 2 wars. Motherfuckers talking about we don't got it, but we got it. Like, we're the greatest nation. No, the fuck we're not. We're going through some shit right now. Like, say it. We're really going through.
Is she Puerto Rican? I'm just wondering if her.
Really.
I know. I'm just like titties.
My
titties. Woo!
Really are fucked right now.
Whoa.
And yeah, we talking about
All right.
we could fund 2 wars. That's like a nigga trying to front like, yeah, I got the money to support 2 bitches, but you really don't. Y'all talk about y'all don't make negotiation with the odds, but y'all need to sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
With these people and find agreement. No, we cannot fund these fucking wars.
Yes.
We can't.
Good.
Keep it a bean. We can't. This is fucking crazy. And then you know what?
No, tell us.
I told myself this week, like, yo, the internet right now is too dark because celebrity drama, of course, we love it. We infuse with it. We watch it. But it's like, yo, that's little of what's really going on in the world right now. That's nothing compared to what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah. Okay.
The world.
All right. So I just want to make sure everyone's aware. The reason why I'm showing you this is because she has 24,000 fucking people watching her. This show is diametrically, if we were to look at the ratio of the intelligence level you get from watching her versus this show, would look like Kamala's career with her legs. Okay, one going one way, one going the other. Okay, but now completely off her freaking rocker, hoping a boobie came out. I'm totally with Leeroy. But now she is
like a little hint of a boob there. So
yeah. It was really good. She is now 100% a Kamala supporter. And I'm confused because either P. Diddy has shit on her that we can't even fathom, because a lot of people who are coming out for Kamala who have never even said anything remotely nice about her when she ran, hated her ass. Now they love her. So people called out Cardi B and said, dude, you're fake. She basically went in a rally and read off her phone, like prescribed statements. Just read off her phone a statement. And people are saying that she's full of crap. Here is her reply to them. Merry Christmas.
I work so hard, bro. I work so hard on my speech. And a lot of y'all talking about like, oh, why are you reading it from my phone? Bitch, I had to write that shit down because I had to make, bitch, I'm 32 years old, bitch. And I have 3 kids. My mind be fucking raising all goddamn day, bitch. Like, it's like sometimes, bitch, I be arguing on my shower, like fucking rehearsing what I'm gonna tell niggas when I see them. And you know what? I forget what I be telling them. I'm like, damn, I was in the fucking shower for 30 minutes. I was gonna say to this motherfucker. But you know what? Then when I be in face to face, I be forgetting. So, you know, when it comes to this shit right here, I been knew what I've been wanting to say, but I had to make sure I ain't forget. So I wrote that shit the fuck down. Y'all gonna hear what the fuck I had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you think this is bad, she has officially announced she's running for president in 2032. Idiocracy has come full circle. We are now the dumbest fucking nation on the planet.
I feel sorry for her children.
This is ridiculous. Please, somebody, Amy, Olivia, what the hell's wrong with women? I mean, not all women, okay, but you get my point. What the? Sorry.
First of all, I
burdened by this bitch.
Yes, I think
bitch.
She was not raised in a middle class family,
right?
And her language is extremely colorful. And I'm not bothered by foul language at all, but like this is an extreme amount. Like if you cannot make it through 2 sentences without saying the F word 30 times in 2 sentences, that's an issue for me personally. I don't know. I don't mind it, but I mean, she sounds like an idiot. I don't know. I don't really know. I didn't see her first speech. I didn't see this one either. But I can say this. I believe they are really paying celebrities to endorse Kamala. And I think Beyonce is a great example of that, because when she was up there giving her speech, she looked uncomfortable. Thank you, Kimberly.
Thank you, Kimberly.
Because Kamala, not Kamala, what's her name? Beyonce, and I want to thank Beyonce. When she was supporting Hillary, she was like all dancing and like she was like all about it. And now when it comes to Kamala, she's just like reading her speech, like buttoned up, not herself. So I think they're just being paid to say these things. And I just think that.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
Did you spell it Standcombe?
Did I misspell it?
Slightly.
No.
Yeah, it's okay. It's Stancombe. Just
Sorry.
No, it's
I'm
okay.
blind. I can't see.
Stand in the place that you were, now face west. So, folks, here's what it comes down to. Celebrities are idiots. They don't know anything. They're entitled. They're rich. Can someone please tell me an actor who is profound? I can give you a couple. Morgan Freeman, somebody who I would love to talk to. Denzel Washington. I'm not just starting because of DEI. I truly, really like Denzel and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, these guys are amazing.
Yeah, give me a couple of others.
James Earl Jones.
He's dead.
He's dead. We can't have a conversation with him.
Well,
I thought it was like, I didn't know it had to be like an alive person.
Sweet. Amy, you can drink and you can do anything. So we proved that. So just have a few shots and you'll be like, oh my God, I'm your daughter.
No, Roseanne. If Roseanne is watching, everyone should know. A couple months ago, I tried to get James Woods on the show.
Yeah, I love James Woods.
Ultimately, it didn't pan out. But that's another guy. It's somebody who's able to remove themselves from political situations and realize, look, I'm just an actor. I'm a trained monkey. I'm an entertainer, and I don't know anything about the policies that would rule over people's lives and how that would make things better for them. When I see this chick's like rant, right, and I hear her talk about bitches and hoes and who's down and you know, all of this gangster emotional bullshit, I just it reminds me that this is an ungrounded person who cannot talk about policy. And ultimately, what rules the end of the day is not your emotional stance towards the politicians, but their policy stance.
Gary Sinise.
Yeah, Gary Sinise is a big one.
Another guy.
John
Lieutenant
Voight.
Dan.
Yep. Gary Sinise. Anthony Hopkins. Yep. Keanu Reeves. Mike Rowe. So there are, but even so, if Denzel Washington walked in my house, the greatest thing you can listen to is Denzel Washington on culture. And he's like, it ain't about color. It's about culture. And the differences between white and black people should never be focused on the pigmentation of their skin. And if you haven't seen the movie Cry Freedom with Stephen Biko, Denzel Washington, it is one of his most fantastic works. It is with Kevin Kline. It's about Stephen Biko, South African apartheid leader. It's someone who was opposed because he's black, obviously. But an amazing story. If you have not watched Cry Freedom, please give it a watch. But if he came to me and wanted to give me a lesson on inner city youth or families devoid of father-like figures, I'd listen to him. But if he didn't tell me who to vote for, I'm going to say my culture is different than yours. And you don't know what's best for me. And that's where individual rights come in. So when people are like, every day they have a new celebrity endorse them, you know what I say? I could give 2 fucks today because I gave 2 fucks yesterday. I don't care. I don't care what newspaper. I don't care. I care that I can see with my own 2 eyes that Kamala is a manufactured candidate. We need to get to this, but I've got one more thing to show. I have to stop the panel, and we're going to get into some heavy conversation. And everyone's going to get plenty of time. Everyone's going to get like 10 minutes apiece to tell us how they're feeling. But first, you got to watch this hilarious shit, because occasionally SNL gets it right, even though they give Kamala airtime and don't give it to Donald Trump, and then go ahead and get an FEC violation and have to give Donald Trump a 90-second commercial on Sunday Night Football. And Donald Trump gets a free commercial. That's like a $2 million paid spot. But because they offered Kamala Harris to be on SNL and didn't offer Donald Trump, they got their asses clinked. So if you haven't seen this, this is pretty fucking good. Enjoy. Oh, and for the copyright strike, you're not going to keep it on here, NBC, so just stop wasting my fucking time, okay? Thanks. Tim Allen, Rob Schneider, Mel Gibson all support Trump. Yeah. I don't know if I want to hear from Rob Schneider. I like Rob Schneider. He's a funny guy, and he's smart. Mel Gibson, wouldn't mind having a conversation with Mel Gibson. Tim Allen, same thing. Not what I consider an intellectual, but these guys are good guys. I'm not. There's good Democrats too. I'm not saying Denzel Washington's not a great guy, but when I have, once again, the questions are dependent. If I want to talk to Tim Allen about stand-up, if I want to talk to Tim Allen about Tool Time, if I want to talk about getting into TV, sure, but I don't care who he's voting for. I just want them to vote. Get out and vote. Let's make a run of this. We're going to talk about more about this, but we got to finish this. Let's finish this.
Wow, impressive.
And Rachel, I'm not saying you were saying anything. I don't know if you're new to the show. I don't think you are. But I'll talk to you, and I'm not like directing that you were saying that Tim Allen and Rob Schneider are intellectuals. I'm just answering the general question. I hope you understand. Okay, Kirk Cameron.
I saw that one. I was
Tell him why we don't want to talk to Kirk Cameron. Quickly.
He's a little freaking nutso.
Okay, he's going to circumvent our Hung Cow. Why you didn't come on my show, bro? I don't know. But, EOD, we probably swam in the same water. We chewed probably some of the same fucking dirt. You decided not to come on my show. The one thing I would tell you and give you some advice for free is if Donald Trump gets a free commercial because he wasn't invited on SNL, you'll probably get the same fucking deal because of this guy who you're running against also got a free spot. So I don't know if you're paying attention, brah, but you might want to go ahead and get yourself a primetime commercial on NBC because that, it's not Tim Scott, it's Tim Kaine. God darn, all right. Yeah. So I will be honest. I'm not a big fan of SNL, but occasionally they do some decent stuff, and that's a decent spin. The last thing before we get into it is the Lincoln Project. I told you I'd give you a Lincoln Project commercial, and it's no longer just the Lincoln Project. The entire cast of Olivia and one of Olivia and I's favorite shows ever made have decided to lecture all of us on Kamala Harris.
Oh.
One of my favorite ever. And
the White House is more than just a building. It's more than 18 acres of land in Washington, D.C.
It's more than columns and corridors, more than history etched into stone.
And the portraits of those who came before.
It's an idea. It's a symbol.
It's a sacred trust. It's the place where Americans look for leadership when the night is at its darkest and when the dawn breaks brightest.
Earning the right to serve here isn't just about politics.
It's about a bond of honor between the American people
and their president. It's a commitment to the Republic and to our sacred Constitution. It's a promise to temper strength with compassion.
To uphold not only the law, but the ideals that give it life.
It's the understanding that every decision made within these walls reverberates across the nation, impacting millions of lives.
The right kind of president reminds us that honor and dignity aren't relics of the past,
but the foundation of our future.
They know that while their time here is fleeting,
their service can build a stronger America for generations to come.
The woman who will soon sit behind this desk will be the first in many ways.
She will lead America
to a new era, a proud era.
A future where we will build
as one nation.
A time of opportunity and prosperity for every American,
every family.
Her name is Kamala Harris.
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 And she will be our next president.
Or else we're gonna burn this motherfucker to the ground. Fuck you, West Wing. We loved your show. You guys are a bunch of dicks. Folks, thedumbshow.com/donate. We usually do this at the top of the hour, but we didn't have a chance. We obviously are funded 100% by you. Tomorrow night, we have a show for you that we bust our ass, but we're putting 20 hours of work into this. This will be a great show. We're going to cover all the races. We're going to talk to you about the chances of the actual Senate being overtaken by the Republicans and GOP, and the House the same. It's very, very close. Will it be a lame duck presidency as they put in Kamala Harris and give the House and the Senate? It's actually happened quite a few times, especially when the American public are a little uneasy with the choices. They will give a lame duck non-mandate to a president. We're going to cover that. We're going to cover all about Kamala Harris and why you shouldn't vote for her, why you should vote for Donald Trump. We're going to break down all the states. We'll be with you when the polls close. We'll be notifying you when the polls close. We'll be going over each state, its electoral votes, its population, Senate races, House, and even dive into some local races that you might enjoy. We're going to take your phone calls. We're going to be on until the cows come home. Last time this 2020 put Don't Unfriend Me on the map, we had over 3,000 people interact with our show. That may not sound like a lot, but when you only have 30 people following you, that's pretty fucking huge. It was Crowder and us. We were on, and Crowder had 10 million, and I think we wound up doing close to 30,000 people, and our high, I think we had close to like 1,500 people on. I expect this to be a busy night tomorrow. People will be coming on. They'll be coming in. They'll be coming out. It'll be a fun night. We hope to share it with you. In order to make that happen, we need your help. And the reason why is because Facebook has taken away all of our proceeds and money from ads and commercials. You don't see them anymore because they refuse to go ahead and show our show. In fact, we just hit 200,000 and we have 89 people on Facebook, and we probably have doubled that on Twitter and Rumble and all of our other channels. So if you could help, we are tonight about $64 shy of our goal. We're looking to hit that 250 mark tonight if you could help us out. But tomorrow night, starting at 6 o'clock, it'll be Leeroy, it'll be Amy, it'll be Olivia, myself, and special guest, our good friend, our wonderful friend, Ryan Samuels, United States Marine Corps, good guy. He's going to come and share with us tomorrow. So stop on by at 6 o'clock. We'll be on till 3 in the morning if necessary. I don't know when to quit, and I certainly won't tomorrow. Come and see us. Please donate. TheDumbShow.com/donate. Amy, we are taking the rest of the show to talk to all of us. How are we feeling? What are our concerns? All of those type of things. Let's share and talk about Donald Trump, unless you want to talk about the West Wing and that commercial.
I never watched The West Wing, so I don't know anything about the I mean, I know the premise of the show. Thanks, Kev. I don't know I don't know the show, so I don't have an opinion about the people who are narrating it or like.
It's a great show. It's a great show. Great show.
I don't feel the need to watch it now, but I'm behind on all the I saw like 10 movies from like 2 years ago. I need to catch up on from you guys. So I'm trying. But what the commercial was fantastic until they just assumed the White House's new gender would be female.
Yeah. Even though
I don't identify with that. Correct. So I hope we are unburdened.
Time out. 6 o'clock Eastern. It'll be an hour earlier. Usually we're on at 7. 6 o'clock Eastern. It's on the Facebook page. It's on all social media. I will have it booked tomorrow morning early so you can see it. You should get a reminder. Just be here at 6 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead, Amy. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just saying, I hope we're unburdened by what has been. Tomorrow, I am feeling positive. However, I'm still cautiously optimistic, I guess is the right way to phrase it. I do have trepidation. I am nervous that they're going to do something. There has already been, problems with voting facilities and mailboxes on fire and what the fraudulent votes. I saw that with Laura Trump, who she was like, no, we have proof of this. So it's concerning. It's concerning under any circumstances, but I do believe that we are again. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Amy.
We say it every 4 years, but it is really true. I think this is the most important election of our adult life so far, and I am worried for our future. I'll just say that if it doesn't go our way.
Fair enough. All valid concerns. What's your number one concern? Like, if you put it in one word, what is your number one concern about tomorrow?
Cheating or fraud, something along those lines, some kind of fraudulent behavior, for sure.
Interesting. Okay. Olivia, why don't you go? Because I know Leeroy's got a list. He's already writing it down.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm nervous for tomorrow. I wasn't on 2020. I thought Trump had it in the bag. And so, yeah, I'm definitely a little nervous. I'm very worried if she gets in, what our country is going to be like and where we are going to be personally. and what's going to happen to us on a personal level, what's going to happen to the country, and what kind of a country are we leaving our kids to? Because by the end of this presidency, Hayden is going to be an adult. And what kind of world is she going to be going out into is very scary. So, yeah, I'm definitely a little nervous about tomorrow. I'm optimistic, but it's a nervous optimistic at this point. So,
Optimistic?
Yeah, optimistic.
Optimistic.
Optimistic. There we go.
What else you got? Anything else besides that?
Yeah, just I'm also worried about rioting, and I'm worried
Is
about.
that your number one word? Rioting? You think?
No, my number one concern is KAMALA. For sure, that's my number one concern.
It's a good word.
But
KAMALA.
Yeah, KAMALA. But no, I'm worried about the rioting because if Trump wins, cities are going to burn.
Yes.
If
No doubt.
If Kamala wins, I don't think cities are going to burn, but I don't think the Republicans are going to take this sitting down this time. I do not think so.
Yeah,
and I'm afraid of what's going to happen to the country. It's going to, Republicans are not going to take it again. We're fucking pissed right now. And so because technically, if she does win, it would be a stolen election because she was never voted in to be a candidate in the first fucking place. So
1 second. This has been going, Thomas, I already disproved this WHO thing. I'm not going to address it. I've already addressed it. That United Nations and the World Health Organization, I already debunked this a long time ago, and I was 100% right. I was the only channel who called it out. Nobody was calling it out. And Amy can tell you about it. We can link the show, but this is all regurgitated shit. This is old news, and it's fake. It's bullshit. This happens every couple of years. Especially during elections, and it's just all bullshit. So don't worry about it. So Leeroy, why don't you go? Because there was a conversation that I was having, and I was sitting down with Hayden. I almost went live. Like, my daughter is getting to that age where I am so excited. Like, most parents are like, oh my God, she's in her teens. Holy shit. And I'm like, no. Like, this is the time. Like, her brain is forming and she's getting opinions and she's able to convey her. Don't touch my phone. Oh, I made you jump. You jumped a foot, dude. You jumped a foot. I caught you, homie. You weren't even ready for that. He just jumped. He almost hit the fan. You okay? Yeah. Okay. You did jump though. Okay. So he takes the phone that controls all the lights every night. Give me 5. I love you. Sorry if I scared you. I'm not sorry at all, actually. And I almost went live because it was just a profound conversation. So I'm going to recap that. But Leeroy, it's your floor. Please walk us through it, and then we can talk a little bit about putting our minds at ease a little bit, how we handle the next 24 hours.
For the people for everyone who was watching that ad, if you don't know whose voice that was, who was narrating that was Martin Sheen. And I think the last good movie that I can recall him in was The Final Countdown from the mid-'80s. Great movie.
That was a great movie. Oh my God, what a great movie, dude. I can't believe you watched. Oh, hold on. This is what we talked about earlier. Let me give this to you. What an amazing movie. F-14 Tomcats versus World War II Corsairs and Jap Zeros.
It's amazing.
Oh, go ahead. Great movie. Final Countdown was awesome. Awesome. Go ahead.
So I'm listening to his ad. I'm listening to his majestic voice, and he does have a great voice, but he's talking about things like honor and dignity and pride and opportunity. And every time he threw out one of those buzzwords, I just counter it like just on the fly. So when he says honor, I'm thinking in my head, you mean like how you call half of America Nazis. When you say dignity, do you mean like how, half of your party being caught trading trade secrets with China? When you're talking about pride, are we talking about like Dylan Mulvaney interviewing him in the White House? Or opportunity, which is the opposite of equal outcome? Maybe you should check your party's outline and figure out what their goals are. So I hear that ad, and it's all just the normal buzzwords, right? It's all the same bullshit where they want to talk about honor and dignity, but they don't actually talk about the end goals of their policies. Because if they had to talk policy, they would lose every time. That is the Republican strong point. That is our strong suit, is our policy. Theirs is buzzwords. Welcome to America.
Yeah, it really is. They're all valid points. What's your word? What's your number one concern in a single word tomorrow?
Chaos.
Yeah.
Chaos. I would think just everyone's going to be on edge as it is. And, for the people who watch this show, you have to understand that we all text, we all talk to each other. And I threw out a text night before last, and it was like, and I am a little bit nervous because I was like watching like Poly Market, and the markets had just shifted wildly. And I was like, oh man, that can be nerve wracking, right? That can be like, now I'm not talking panic, but I was just like, it's a little concerning, and Matt immediately responds back with, yeah, that's calm down. But yeah, it's an acknowledgement. So it's the same thing. You're just looking to make sure that the team that you're rooting for, is going to win, because in our case, we know that that's what's better for America. Thank you, Vicky.
Vicky, I'm glad to see you back, by the way. Welcome home. Vicky was over in Turkey and Istanbul area and doing some things over there. So good to have her home. Just in time for some real turkey and Thanksgiving. Anyway.
Stuffing.
Stuffing.
Wine.
Wait. Stuffing.
Large glasses of wine, not those
huge
restaurant sized.
Huge.
None of that.
Huge wine. Some say the best wine. Okay, so I got a little bit here, so I apologize, but this is important to me. This recognized to me. This is the 4-year mark of Don't Unfriend Me. This is when we started to realize we've got something here, and I can't believe how far we come. Like I'm getting emotional. Like I can't believe how far we've come. I have 3 of my best friends I get to share 1 or 2 nights a week with, and they have dealt with the ups and the downs of this. They have dealt with I want to quit. I'm grumpy. I'm pissed off. They went through when I was pissed off here with my family, and they could feel that. It's just the growth that we've demonstrated in such a short period of time is just these are the people I would go to war with. So when I hear confliction in them, and I just want to kind of run through some things, okay? 4 years ago after the election, I said, we will survive Joe Biden. And people were like, no, we won't. And I said, yes, we will. I'm the one that made Joe Biden will break every bad thing that Jimmy Carter ever did by 10, and he did. You can go watch the show. I watched it today while I was listening and working on the site. And every prediction, there'll be an energy crisis. We'll see devaluation of the dollar. We'll see inflation. We'll see home prices. We'll see commodities and goods. We will see conflicts arise all over major superpowers. I mean, everything I predicted with Biden absolutely happened. Even a botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, I predicted. I mean, go watch that video, because it just literally, it reads like the last 4 years. I told you DeSantis and Kamala Harris would be very good opportunities to run for president, and more than likely be 2 of the final choices for vice president, and one of them would be it. I think we're going to find out that, honestly, it should have been Nikki Haley. JD Vance is going to do great. I really like JD Vance. But if there is going to be a reason that Donald Trump lost, it's going to be the woman vote. And that most assuredly would have been shored up by Nikki Haley. I tried to tell you that. I told you abortion is still on the ballot. It is. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with it or not. I've told you for the last 2020, I told you in the primary, I told you in the midterms, and I told you now in the election, abortion's on the ballot. Because Democrats have very little to call their own other than abortion. And it is a huge concern for them because it's their party identity. And it's the way that they control their voters, to be honest with you. I told you the race would tighten. And I told you no matter what the deficit was, whether it be 20%, 10%, or 7%, that it was going to get down to about 2 to 3%. And guess what? That's where we're at. I told you that Donald Trump would be underestimated, and he is. I told you this was a change election, and it is. I told you there would be a shadow vote for him, and there is. I told you that the difference of how he was going to win was to close the gap in where Joe Biden beat him in 2020. And it doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter whether it's stolen or not. The actual final tally, whether you believe this or not, and it really is immaterial because whether you believe it or not, it happened, is that he lost 4% to women and 3% to men. Now, the good news is that Donald Trump has increased his overall penetration with men to almost 5%, which is a glorious, glorious number. And although he is doing poorly with women, he's not doing as poorly as he did in 2020, and he's not doing as well as he did in 2016. What?
Real quick, most of the polling shows that female turnout in all of the swing states is down substantially. I actually have a list of that at some point, but not now.
It was something I was going to bring up, but we can absolutely. I don't think anyone knew what we were prescribed to do in this thing, so I'm not going to try to steal all the thunder, but I've got all of them in my head. I have purposely stayed away from diving into the numbers for a reason, because I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to reassure you that there are a few things that you need to be aware of. Republicans did exactly what they were supposed to do, which is show up to vote early and often, as we like to say, even though it's a joke. Don't vote often, vote early. But check your vote on day of, and I will be doing that with my wife. We will be going and we'll be checking to ensure that our vote was counted, because that's important to do. And you can check your .gov if you want to. They have a site you can put in your stuff. It'll check mail-in, it'll check absentee, and it'll check day of voting to see if you voted. You can do that on every .gov site for your state. But the interesting thing is Republicans are showing up in droves.
Yep.
This is single-handedly the best early turnout we have ever in U.S. history. But the interesting thing is the propensity of voter is not stealing and cannibalizing from our vote tomorrow. These voters are actually new voters. These voters are ones that actually don't vote on opening day. These are all the Democrats that abandoned their party. And we told you that about 2.3 to 2.7 million new registered Republicans have happened over the last 18 months, up to 4 years. These are the voters. Pennsylvania had almost a 1 million lead, 1 million person lead in early voting. Right now, it's about 450,000 with 200,000 toss-ups. And the toss-ups are breaking for Trump. Even though Kamala Harris is saying the toss-ups are breaking for her, they're not. Otherwise, their lead would show that. So when you look at this, we only lost, we've talked about this, Leeroy and I did, between Pennsylvania and Donald Trump. The overall vote count was only about 70,000 votes is what we went ahead and said. Just 61 to 71,000, depending if you're actually going to go ahead and do challenged votes. That means that they have to make up, if you subtract the overall difference between the two and their overall lead in 2020, which was a record for Democrats, you're going to hear what I tried to tell you. One is that I'm right, and I'm going to go ahead and toot my horn here. But you have to make up 275,000 votes. Good luck. Democrats are shitting themselves in Pennsylvania because black people aren't showing up.
Well, they should.
Yes, very much. And not only that, but they're shitting themselves in Nevada, in Oregon, in Washington, in New York, in California, in fucking Georgia. Rural counties are showing up in droves. Wait times in some of these counties were 8 to 9 hours. But I want to go back to COVID and the stolen election. 275,000 votes, huh? I wonder how many mail-in ballots were shoved into these districts for unregistered voters. Have you heard of a number of 325,000? Does that sound familiar? Because I've only been saying it for 4 fucking years that's what Pennsylvania did. Those people aren't voting again. Why? Because they didn't want to vote to begin with, except they got ballots sent to their house during COVID. These people aren't showing up. They don't care. Democrats lost their ass in 2020. And as I told you, I don't think the amount of votes that you're anticipating, a huge turnout, is going to go their way because Democrats are bleeding votes. People aren't showing up for her. They're showing up for Trump. They're showing up for the Republican GOP ticket because they're sick and tired. So let's talk about why, and then I'm going to shove off to everyone else. Number one, look at the economy. Number two, look at geopolitics and where we are as far as stability. Look at where we are with the Jews. Look at where we are with the Amish. Look at where we are with Latinos. Look where we are with blacks. All increases in every single demographic for Donald Trump. The only demographic she's doing well in is middle-aged women. 65 and older. These are the women who marched. These are the women who are in the 70s. These are the women who had abortions, and they are voting. And there is no doubt. But that 7% buffer that Joe Biden has been dwindled down to nubs. Last but not least, Donald Trump in every single swing state is within striking distance, 1 to 2 points, sometimes even a quarter of a point or half a point. Nationally, same thing. That benefits Trump because of the shadow vote. There is a very large vote that is not going to admit for voting for Trump. The last and possibly the most important thing. Thank you so much, Kev. We're close, folks. We just hit it. Just one last thing. I know this is a long one, but this is important. Seltzer came out. Seltzer is a person very similar to our boy who likes to predict elections and has his 13, 12 points, whatever, to go ahead and predict elections. But the Seltzer poll has predicted Iowa fairly accurately, for sure. This just came out. And with that, Iowa supposedly has now turned 3 points in favor of Kamala Harris. Joey Messina, who is a Republican listener / influencer / very big influencer on Twitter, has openly said, I will cut my own dick and nuts off if Kamala Harris wins Iowa. It's not going to fucking happen. I'm not willing to go ahead and sacrifice my twig and berries, but I will support that he is, and I will go ahead and back him up that he's fairly safe. Iowa is not in play. They showed up in negative 30-degree weather to vote for Donald Trump, and they showed up in droves, and they sent a very loud declaration that they are going to move forward with Donald Trump. If you believe that, let me tell you why they did that, because if you watch other elections, this happens. In 2016, they scared the shit out of Hillary Clinton when they released polls 2 weeks before the election saying that Michigan, Minnesota, and Wisconsin were in play. Hillary Clinton shot herself, killed somebody, I'm sure, and then flew to those 3 states and didn't leave them. But only by sending her delegates and her surrogates. She didn't go, and she lost them. That was a big, huge chink in the blue wall. Wisconsin is another massive chink in the blue wall, along with Pennsylvania. And I will say it here like I said it a month ago. If Kamala Harris doesn't win Pennsylvania, this election is over. I don't care what she does in the blue wall. I don't care what she does anywhere else. If he wins Pennsylvania, this election is over. If he wins Michigan, this is over. If he takes Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania, this election is not only over, it's so fucking over, it's cooked, it's done, and go ahead and hang it up. This election may be done by 9 o'clock if he picks up New Hampshire, North Carolina reports, and we get a report from Wisconsin. Because if any of those scenarios happen, this race is over. I want you to breathe. I want you to relax. The time to get upset is not now. The time is to reflect, and the most important thing, my word, the word I'm going to give you as you go to sleep, is complacency. If you are a Christian and you are a gun owner, if you're a redneck, if you have the Bible, if you live in any place that's red or slightly pink or arterial, get out and fucking vote. Now is not the time to stay home. Now is not the time to talk about 2020. Now is not the time to be disenfranchised. Now is not the time to be undecided. This election is between good and evil. And I promise you when I say this, as confident I was in 2020 that we would survive 4 years of Biden, and we will not survive 4 years of Kamala Harris. She will destroy the filibuster. She will make Washington, D.C. and Puerto Rico a state. They will gain 4 senators. They will gain 11 state legislators. They will go ahead and codify abortion. They will attack the Second Amendment in retribution for what we did. We will never have another election, and they will banish the Electoral College, because once they get rid of the filibuster, they only need 50 plus 1. This 2 SCOTUS judges will be replaced, and they will vote on expanding the federal courts, and they will. Your Constitution of the United States, these things that we hold so dear, these documents of freedom will no longer exist. I give you my word, as solid as I was in 2020 and as positive as I was that we would survive, we will not survive Kamala Harris. Get out tomorrow. We have to show up in droves. If we do, we win. It's that simple. And if for some reason we don't, we will fight later. We will collect. We will allow the lawsuits to take place. We will allow the challenges to take place. We will wait for the final word, and then we will reflect. And if we feel like we did in 2020, then another conversation will take place. But until then, we use this. We use this. And the only way we do that is by showing up and voting. That's all I have.
Can I go next real quick?
Go. Do it.
Data that I wanted to share. Something that you had mentioned on a show about 2 weeks ago was that Trump had multiple paths to victory, whereas Kamala only had one. And I was a little dubious on the show, on the fly. And then I had done some homework behind the scenes. And then as I was getting into the data itself, it dawned on me, you are absolutely right. If Trump wins Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia, then he only has to win one of the Great Lakes states, either Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, or Michigan, in order to win. At that point, it's over. According to a Democrat data expert, the guy's name is Tom Bonner, and he's from this company called Target Smart, and they crunch a bunch of numbers. So he had examined a bunch of the data coming in for the demographics of the early votes and the people who planned on voting. And this is what he found. Again, we're talking about North Carolina, Georgia, and Arizona. In Georgia, the urban turnout is currently down by 153,000 votes. The female
153,000. That was decided by freaking 18,000 votes. Go ahead, Leeroy.
The female turnout is down by more than 46,000 votes. And the rural turnout is up by more than 171,000 votes. In Michigan, the urban turnout is down by more than 321,000 votes. Female turnout is down by more than 204,000. Rural turnout is up by more than 55,000 votes. North Carolina, and this is the last state I'll cover. North Carolina, the urban turnout is currently down by more than 175,000 votes. Female turnout is down by more than 154,000 votes. Rural turnout is up in North Carolina by more than 26,000 votes. So all of those states that we just listed, all of those ones that if he wins, then he only has to win one of the Great Lakes states. All of those states are trending in the positive direction.
And Tommy, 10K, I also do mail absentee ballots that were not counted by our military. So I always count those. Some of those were not counted. And there's challenges, and I absolutely do not believe in what everyone said, but it was actually 9,000 votes in Georgia, but there was also absentee ballots that I believe were not counted properly. And of the day of, hold on one second. Leeroy, do you remember what I said about the amount of votes that would be less than 2020 versus 2024? Remember when it was 51 million people voted, and I said
30 or 120. You know what? It was somewhere in there.
It was 100. It was between 128 and 135. I am right on the number.
Yep.
Don't tell me ever again about a stolen election. I told you what it was. That's why they're not showing up. It's mail-in ballots. They dumped them. It was an unconstitutional election, folks. I've been saying it for 4 years, and my book is going to fucking sell like hotcakes when I get done with this thing, because I'm going to have the final coup de, it's not coup de grace. It's crux de, no, and it's not coup d'etat either. It's crux to something. It doesn't matter. The linchpin of the entire book is that 2024, the piece de resistance. That's what it is. Thank you. I'm going to have the piece de resistance to show you that if we all of a sudden just take 25 to 30 million votes out of the system, how? And why are they all Democrat? I know she's a bad candidate, but they don't fucking care. Joe Biden was a bad candidate. They don't care about that. The people who got to vote last time have no fucking desire to vote. And if it's not easy and it doesn't show up at their house and they're not asked to do it, they ain't going to fucking vote because they've never voted in elections in their life. They're not going to vote this time. Amy, Olivia, then Leeroy.
First?
Yes, please. You go first, honey.
I just got notification that Joe Rogan just endorsed Trump.
30 million people. That's his audience.
No, it's not. It's 100 million.
Oh, is it? Damn.
Yes. All in. He's 100 million.
It's from our trusted source.
Really?
Yes. He just texted me.
So the interesting thing about this is Joe Rogan just put something on, and it was something similar to KAMALA, and he at KAMALA on Twitter, and it basically said, fucking coward, or she's ducking me.
Yeah.
And it says at KAMALA, because the whole point is that somehow she found the time to go to New York and fly into SNL, but she couldn't find the time to face Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan calling her out is the piece de la resistance for the people tomorrow. People will show up tomorrow. I believe in my country. I love my country. I love Republicans and conservatives. I've been one my whole life, and I've had for 4 fucking years to hear that I'm a rhino, that I'm not loyal because I challenged Trump. Tomorrow, we start a new fucking chapter on this show. We listen to each other, because I'm never going to lie to you. Amy's not going to lie to you. Olivia's not going to lie to you. Leeroy's not going to lie to you. And the people we have on here are not going to lie. We're always going to tell you the truth. Do we win tomorrow? There is a chance that we lose. There is. But
possible.
If I'm putting down money, I'm fucking betting on Trump 120 times out of 121 times. I just believe that he is going to win tomorrow. And here's the thing. That's where the fight begins, because I don't even know if they're going to let him in. That's the problem. That's what I'm worried about. You asked me complacency. It's if he wins, that's just the start, because then he's got his court date and sentencing on the 29th. That ain't going to be pretty. They're going to fucking hit him with everything. That judge is going to throw everything at him. It'll be a maximum sentence. He will go overboard, and then it'll begin. Raskin will start. He'll be the new Adam Schiff. Investigations, 25th Amendment will be invoked. They will try to do a pre-exempra impeachment. It will begin.
Oh, they've already drafted his impeachment proceedings.
It'll be hell. And that is our call. That's when we say no fucking more. He is our president, and that is when we have the right. That is when this is all we need. Because then we can show tyranny. Then we can show a failure of the Constitution of the United States. Then we can show government tyrannical rule. We couldn't on the 2020. We can do it then. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm fucking fired up, man. I love this time of year. It's my fucking Super Bowl. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Amy, Olivia, Leeroy, then we're done.
I don't even know what to say to follow up to that. Honestly, I am optimistically cautious about tomorrow. I'm also excited to see what's going to happen. And I did vote early, so I'm not going, but Jason did not, so he's voting tomorrow. So I'm like, God bless you. Good luck on those lines. But
yep.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe I don't know what time he's going to go, but
will you tell me? Will you let him or tell him to text me and let me know how the lines are? Because I hope they're around. I hope it's 8 hours. I pray to God.
I don't, because we have parent teacher conference in the evening, so I gotta get there.
Fair enough.
But Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited. I do worry if we do not win tomorrow, what will happen to our country. I do worry about my children. I worry for all the children, and that's just my biggest plea right now. Just don't forget that every single baby is a blessing from God, and He doesn't make mistakes when He gives you the gift of a child. So
It's beautiful.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I didn't say it's the Bible. So
it's still a good message and it's still beautiful. Vote like our lives depended on it because
they do.
They do. Olivia, go ahead.
I don't know. You guys did great. So give it to
like
you.
I said, we're going to know tomorrow. And you know what? Here's the thing.
Well, thank you.
2016, I didn't think there was a chance. 2020, I believe there was a chance. And I feel good about this. But it doesn't mean that I'm not wrong. I'll know so much more tomorrow. I have all the hookups. I've got early votes. I will know probably around 1:30 how things are going and how Republicans are showing up. And once I know that, I'll know. And if we can get a 45 to 46% GOP turnout, Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States.
Guaranteed.
We can get a 45 to 46% turnout on GOP tomorrow, Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States.
Nick, we're on at 6 tomorrow.
Hear what I said, 45 to 46% GOP turnout. Democrats need 54 to 55% of women to show up. That's a very tall order. That's a big, 55 to 56. That's a very big fucking ticket. That's a big lift. You just don't understand what I'm at. Maybe you just don't get what that means. 56% of women to show up. That's a real hard number. That's just you're just saying not only do 56% of eligible voters need to show up, but they need to be liberals. That's a big number. That's a big number. That means a lot of conservatives and a lot of independents have to cross the line. You're talking about 10 to 11% of female voters need to cross over. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so, folks. Those are Obama numbers, and I don't think she's Obama. Plus, she's a woman, and she's black. And I hate to say it, but that makes a difference because people are
sure does.
They're still that way. I'm okay with voting for women. I'm okay with voting for a minority. I would have voted for Nikki Haley if she would be on the ticket, but just understand there's a lot of people who wouldn't. That's the way that works. Okay.
I'm all for voting for a woman. I don't care. So long as the policies, I don't care what you have dangling between your legs or the color of your skin. I don't care about any of that. I just care about the policies that you're going to enact once you're in office. That's it.
Can I just say really quickly, I wish I had let Fiona chime in earlier because we talk about the presidential election. They don't understand a lot of it, but she was like, I just don't think Kamala's going to win, Mom. This is today on the way home from school. I'm like, well, why is that? And she goes, well, because she's a woman and America's just not ready for that yet. I'm like,
yeah.
Fiona said that?
Yes. I was like, really? Like,
I don't want to steal thunder, but the funny thing is, Hayden, was we were sitting at the table, I told you, I promised to tell you that story. It's very similar. But she basically just looked at me and said, I don't want people coming in my dressing room. And I can't say things because I want to be a writer and I don't want to get canceled. She's so terrified of being canceled for the future. And she goes, if I could vote tomorrow, I would. And I know I would make a great decision to vote for Donald Trump. And I know the decision that I would make would be the right one. And for all you people sitting home and for all those people who aren't going to show up, you make me just as mad as the liberals because I can't vote and you have an opportunity and you won't. So pretty profound from the two kids, the younger females.
Vote for the voices, the people that can't vote.
Yeah.
The kids who are into politics like ours and the high schoolers, and vote for them.
Vote for the million babies who are now gone. Vote for the 13 in Afghanistan who are dead. Vote for Lake and Riley and the people who were murdered. Vote for the people who can't stand anymore because they don't have legs or they don't have an arm. Vote for the soldiers who committed suicide and didn't get the help that they needed. Vote for the starving who are on the streets who were told that they'd be taken. Or vote for all the black youth who've been murdered by other black people because of the poverty. How about we just vote for real change? Instead of saying you want change the fucking people who are in office right now, because that's the change we need, not voting for more of the same. It's ridiculous. Leeroy.
Vote like it's going to be your vote that will tip that tide tomorrow. Vote like it's your vote that is going to put him in office, because it could be.
Stop talking about the stolen election. Get the people who think it was stolen and get them to vote. Because I promise you this, they're going to do it again if you don't vote. Because all we have to do is not show up. Tomorrow, folks, I want to tell you right now, I just want to be very, very clear. You're going to see a very large goal for us tomorrow. It's cost us a lot of money to put this on. We're going to be probably streaming for 8 to 10 hours, maybe even 12. Depending upon what's going on, that's going to cost us a lot of money. So we're going to have a very big goal tomorrow, and I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. I don't want you to feel crazy. We'll get it $5, $10 at a time, okay? Help us hit it. We are not going to turn it off if we don't. We'll just have to make it up in the month. But when you see that big number, you know why. When we're going to be on a little bit longer, we have to hit a goal, and we have to make that money back somehow, and that's what we do. So don't feel too overwhelmed tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, Amy said vote for the grieving families of someone who died from fentanyl.
Thank you so much, Amy. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah, and Megyn Kelly just endorsed Trump.
Holy shit. They're doing it. See, I got goosebumps. This is the right time. See, they're doing it right now because, come on. I'm going in tomorrow. I'm so sorry. Just 2 more minutes. KAMALA has shifted gears. She's now all about joy and love and unity because all the mail-ins are done and all the early voting's done. Now she's going for the tomorrow voters. Don't fucking believe it. It's a lie. She doesn't want you. You are deplorable. You are racist Nazis. You are treasonous. Right. You're fascist. You're seditionists. You're deplorable. You're Bible thumpers. You're flyover states. You're uneducated. You're fucking garbage.
You're stupid.
You're stupid. You're Nazis. Don't fucking ever forget. This bitch needs to go down. Fuck her. Take her out tomorrow. That's it. I wish I could vote for fire. I wish I could vote for 90 million people. I wish I could. I can't do it. We'll see you tomorrow. Amy, I love you. Leeroy, love you. Ryan Samuels tomorrow. Olivia tomorrow. Amy, Leeroy, same time, same bat channel, except at 6 o'clock, and it's not the same time and same bat channel. 6 p.m. Eastern. Good night, everybody.
See you then.
Yeah.
We're out. Good night.
Night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
Bye.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.